So one thing that we saw earlier was that every Blender file can have its own interface setup. And the way this works is, for example, we've got a large 3D view area right here. We'd like to resize this. We can move the cursor over this dividing line. It changes into this double-headed arrow. We click and we move, and the area changes in size. So that's one way to change the interface. We might want to split this 3D view, for example, in two, and we can do that as well. So we move the cursor to the corner. It will change into this plus sign. We click, hold, and then drag to the right. And now the area is changed into two areas. It's divided. We can also do a vertical split. Go back to the corner, click, drag downwards, and now we get a vertical split. Now we've got three 3D views right now, and perhaps we'd like to have a different type of view over here. So we change this area, for example, into a text editor. And we add a text node. We might want to change this one into an image editor to see our last render, etc. And in this way you can really configure the interface to whatever you need at that point. So this is all saved into the file and it will be available later. And one thing to note is that the undo system does not track these kind of changes. So if you make the division like this, there's no undo except by merging these two areas by hand again. And the way to do that is to take two adjacent areas, for example these two. We'll hover over this dividing line until the cursor changes, right click, then pick join areas, and then the arrow defines which area gets deleted and its place taken by the other one. So we can merge these two, join areas, for example, right to left, and now we're back to one view again. You can maximize an area when you have the cursor in it by pressing Ctrl Space, and this will hide all the other areas, allowing you to focus on one particular area. And then if you press Ctrl Space again, you get back the original configuration that you had. So if you don't like to resize the areas, or you just want to have one view larger for just a while, Ctrl Space bar is a really good way to do that. There's even more configuration that you can do. For example, we've got a 3D view now with the menu at the top, and we can flip that to the bottom. So we hover over this menu button over here, we right click and then go to the header menu, flip to bottom. You now see that these buttons move to the bottom of the view and they're gone at the top. And we can flip them back again, header, flip to top, etc. And there's yet another layer of user interface above this, which are these tabs over here. These are predefined into different workflows, and each has a different user interface setup. You can also add one of these by clicking this plus sign, picking the type that you want, etc. Actually, certain operations within Blender will even do something to these areas. For example, if we have the 3D view here and we press F12 to do a render, then you see that the area type has now changed into an image editor while it was a 3D viewport before. And if we press escape in this image view, we get back to the 3D viewport. So all in all, the viewport system and the way these areas work is really powerful, and it's good to be aware, especially since this is saved in the file. So if you download like a tutorial file from somebody else, you might see a setup that is completely different than from what you're used to. But hopefully this gives you enough insight into how all of this works.